I wanted to do one of those really cool intros where like you drop the pens and it goes into the transition, but this is what I ended up with. Hey, what's up people on the internet out there? Nyla here, and I don't know why my voice sounds this raspy right now, but we're just gonna roll with it. We have made it to the end of July, so of course, this is the perfect time for me to upload my July plan with me, right? I mean, it's better than when I uploaded my June plan with me in the middle of July, so I like to think it's an improvement. This video is also much shorter than my last two, which I thought was crazy, but it does make sense since I really cut out all the unnecessary periods of time where I do nothing, which is more often than not. On the cover page, I drew one whale tail and colored it in using this teal color, because I like the color teal and it's also close enough to blue that it's sort of ocean-y. I wrote July in this quick handwriting font instead of calligraphy because I wanted to change things up a little bit. I outlined the tail and made it look like it was coming outside of a puddle. And lastly, I went in with the washi tape, which has actually been a consistent and new thing that I started doing recently. So my July theme stems from my love of whales. I have loved whales my whole entire life, specifically orcas, and yes, I know they are not whales, but they are called killer whales, so it counts. I wanted to do an ocean-esque theme, and the ocean is a large world, so I specifically went for one of the animals, and since this is part of my new journal, go check out my last video, I wanted to make an animal that has significance to me, and that would be whales. For most of the journal, I didn't want to draw whole whales because that's a lot of work to do, so I used whale tails as the drawings for most of the pages. Also, count how many times I say whale in this plan with me. It's probably going to be a lot. A quick story, actually, when I was 13 and the Blackfish documentary came out, I cried a lot because I cared a lot about whales. I ended up doing a presentation about the captivity of orcas at one of my high school exhibitions, and I would write emails to SeaWorld and Six Flags and also try to donate to get the orcas out of captivity. I did a lot of activism for the orcas because they didn't deserve the treatment that they got, and it's funny how much that's relevant today. But instead of animals facing injustice, it's actually humans who don't deserve it at all. It's important to continue to support the Black Lives Matter movement, so I'll leave a very helpful website link down in the description box below, and I hope it helps you as much as it helped me. Going into my monthly calendar, I kept the 2-page spread as I always do. For the calendar itself, I drew out each individual box using this light green Crayola super tip so that the calendar doesn't look completely connected like if I just drew a regular calendar. I added some black rectangles at the top for the days of the week, and I also added numbers in the boxes in the bottom right hand corner in black pen. I originally started with teal, but I didn't like the way that it looked with the light green, so I switched over to my trusty black Tombow dual brush pen. I used my white pen to write in the titles on top of the black as I have done before, and I actually ended up using a silver pen after I finished filming and it looked a lot better, so I wish I had that idea early on. I also ended up accidentally starting the calendar on Sunday instead of Monday like I normally would, because I was looking at my wall calendar when I was filling this out, and my wall calendar starts on a Sunday, and so I guess I'll just have to deal with that this whole month. I added my little goals and notes section on the left hand side of the page, which I always do in case I actually want to use it, but I haven't been really using it that much because it's hard to have goals and write notes when there's nothing going on. I wrote July in the same font and added this slanted calligraphy lettering saying monthly log to fill out the page more, and then I drew a whale. I used to draw this whale a lot from my little cousin who actually has stumbled upon my video, so if you're watching this, Ava, this one's for you. And I used to draw it for her when she was like 3 years old, so I decided to draw it again because it's a cute whale and it's an easy whale to draw. I colored it in using the same markers, of course, and it's all linked, guess where, the description box below. I added more washi tape and another whale tail for some smaller details to fill out the page more. And now we have my trackers page, which is, of course, the same as usual. It's all on a 2-page spread. I wrote trackers in the same font as July on my monthly spread, so I numbered the days on the graphs that I outlined, and then I added some small coloring details just to make the page a little more complete. I then used a black rectangle, as I have been, to write habit, mood, sleep, and anxiety in white pen again. And then I ended up using silver later on, again like I said, after filming. I actually really need to get a new white pen because this one is not thick enough, and I need to actually add that to my to-buy list, which if you watched the last video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Of course, I made the expense tracker, which always goes on the right-hand side, and I never actually use it because I spend more money than I should, and nothing about that has changed. And then I added small details, like I wrote out the numbers and symbols for my anxiety, mood, and sleep trackers. I added some washi tape, of course, and I wrote "oh whale" in that empty spot toward the bottom because it's a pun. I like puns. I drew a half body of a whale at the top because it makes it look like the whale was just coming up for air, and then I colored that in. I also was using hand motions to describe the whale, and you obviously can't see that, so that's great. I honestly can't remember if I talked about my trackers page enough in my last bullet journal spread, so I'm just going to talk about it real quickly right now. So I briefly mentioned this in my June bullet journal plan with me, but I like tracking my anxiety, sleep, and my mood all on one tracker because I feel like they do correlate with one another. For me personally, I tend to be a little more cranky whenever I don't get enough sleep. I feel like that's a common thing, but also if I get too much sleep, I feel too groggy and my mood drastically can go down. I've noticed that whenever I get the perfect 7 to 8 hours, I usually am more okay unless something happens throughout the day that will change my mood. And it also connects to my habits because I notice when I'm feeling better, I complete all of my habits. And so looking at these graphs really just helps me realize that there's some things that I need to do in order to feel good, and if that means getting enough sleep, which should be a normal thing, I should keep trying to get enough sleep. And it's nice to write it down because I don't lie to myself in my journal, and I don't want it to look like I have this perfect lifestyle when I don't. So this page is actually really important to me, and I never got to talk about it in my June plan with me because I ended up losing that footage, and since I had no space on my phone, I couldn't save it, and I kept running into so many issues. But this is my positives page where I write down 3 positive things from every single day of the month. It's super important to me because back in the day, my best friend once told me that I could be having the worst day, but 3 positive things still happened, even if it's something as simple as just waking up. And he told me to tell him 3 good things that happened that day, and I realized what he said was true because I thought of more than 3, and right before that, I was having a really bad day. And ever since then, I write down 3 positive things that happen every single day because I feel really grateful for small moments like that. Funny enough, I actually forgot his birthday when I was writing this spread, and I went directly from the number 8 to the number 10, so that's why I was so frustrated about having to fix that. The layout for this page is actually really simple. I just write 3 positives a day on top, and I write out the numbers of the month. In this case, 1 to 31, skipping the number 9, and then having to fix it, and then continuing. I've written out this page so much that I naturally know how many spaces each number needs to be. It's typically 4, but at the end it has to be 3 in order to fit all 31 days, which I'm only writing 3 positives a day, so 3 spaces is more than enough. And moving on to the last spread of this plan with me, which is my first weekly spread. I didn't have a brain dump or a school assignments page this time because school went by too fast and I didn't need that page in June, so I doubt that I'll need it in July. And if I'm being honest, my brain dump is a little useless because of something that I added to my weekly spread. I got inspiration for this specific weekly spread from Amanda Rachel Lee and also what I did for my June finals week spread. Across the top, we have my weekly events and my due dates. I did the same exact thing for my finals week video, except at the bottom of the spread, and I wanted to keep that because it's nice to see when exactly things are due. Since I'm still technically in school and I still have stuff to do, obviously I'm going to have assignments due on certain days, and I'm going to need to see exactly how many days I have to complete it, and so it's nice to see it in the weekly point of view. Then I divided the bottom half of this into 3 long lists and 2 smaller sections. The 3 lists that I have are personal, school, and business, even if I don't have any business and literally do nothing important. Although it's nice because I ended up using business for like anything that I had to do for my videos, so that's like pretty cool that I'm actually, doing stuff. The last two sections are my grocery list and my others section. The others is basically just a mini brain dump where I can write anything that I need to. And of course, I ended this spread with a whale tail and some washi tape and smaller details, but that's basically it. Oh, and the days of the week in the white pen that you can't even see. Can't forget that. And that's the end of another plan with me. So I just want to say thank you to all the people that have supported me with this journey so far. And I hope that I continue to make content that you enjoy. But for now, please like, comment, subscribe, and whatnot. And I'll see you soon.